At the beginning of the episode, the Avengers are seen fighting one of Ultron's ugly-ass creations called the Cobalt Man. The Avengers take turns launching their attacks, but quickly discover that the android can teleport. A worried Falcon calls Iron Man and gives him an update on their latest discovery. To his surprise, Iron Man informs him that he has brought a friend to help just as the Vision appears before them. Falcon tells Vision that he did not expect to see him. Vision explains that he was monitoring global threats from a supercomputer center in Norway when Iron Man called him for help. At this point, Cobalt Man decides to attack Vision, who dodges his blows easily. Meanwhile, Iron Man tells Falcon that he has scanned the robot and found that there is no human being controlling it from the inside. While fighting the Cobalt Man, Vision asks Iron Man to explain what criteria he uses to call someone a friend, but the Avenger tells him that he will explain human emotions to him sometime later. As they continue fighting Cobalt Man, Vision traps him inside a box, but he teleports out of it. Iron Man finds this fascinating and claims that he wants to implement the tech on his armor as well. Cobalt Man then plucks a lamppost and flies towards Vision, but the lamppost goes right through him. As he begins to tell Iron Man about his calculations and what changes he has to make in himself, Iron Man stops him once again and tells him that they will have to geek out over science sometime later. This is when Iron Man tells the rest of the Avengers that he is picking up on a strange heat signature, but can't seem to get a full scan since Cobalt Man keeps disappearing. While he tries to figure this out, the rest of the Avengers take turns launching attacks on the Cobalt Man. Suddenly, the android launches a rocket at the Avengers, but Iron Man intervenes just in time to send the rocket up towards the sky before blowing it up. Frustrated, Falcon claims that they cannot do anything until they can deal with his teleporting powers. Vision then reveals that he has managed to pinpoint the location of the teleportation device. He has also devised an algorithm that can predict the android's teleportation pattern. Iron Man tells the rest of the Avengers to distract the android while he and Vision come up with a plan. Thor and Hulk take the lead, but when Thor gets knocked back, he notices a small girl hiding behind a car. He quickly goes to rescue her, but when the Cobalt Man appears behind him, the girl warns him just in time for him to land a hit. This allows Vision to disable the teleportation device inside it. Hulk then grabs the android and holds it hostage until Vision disables it. Falcon claims that Ultron usually finds another body for himself once he is defeated, which is why Vision allows Iron Man to scan him, who then assures his team that they are safe. Back at the Avengers Tower, Falcon begins reading up on the scans and is intrigued by the teleportation device. Iron Man reveals that it is his creation, but Ultron has made a few tweaks. He then shows Falcon that he has been able to control the android, but this does not last for long because Vision thinks that the android is a threat and shoots it. When Iron Man and Falcon walk away from him, Vision decides to visit Captain America, who is training with Black Widow and Hawkeye. Once again, he points out the openings that the three of them had during their attacks. Frustrated, they walk away as well. After this, Vision visits Hulk and Thor, who are playing their video game. When Hulk defeats Thor, Vision asks them why they would want to fight their friends in a simulated environment. Hulk does not bother explaining the rules to him and leaves. On the other hand, Thor tells Vision that if he really wants to learn about friendship, he needs to follow him to Asgard, the place where he made his first friends. Intrigued, Vision asks Thor if Asgard has friendship as well, and Thor reveals that Asgard invented it. Thor then summons a portal, and the two of them travel to Asgard, leaving Hulk behind to wonder where they went. As they arrive in Asgard, Thor tells Vision that true friendship is forged on the battlefield. He shows him Ulik, the rock troll who had threatened to take Mjolnir from Asgard. Thor had partnered up with people who had been his enemies for years before they decided to join hands and defeat the troll. As Thor shows Vision artifacts around Asgard, they finally end up in front of the destroyer armor that he claims has caused several friendships to break. Thor begins to move away when he notices Vision still staring at the armor. He does not think much of it and takes Vision to the dungeons where some of the worst criminals are kept. They notice Ulik trying to break out from his cell, but don't get to spend much time with him because Loki calls out to them. He begins to mock Thor, but this too does not last for long as Ulik finally manages to break out of his cell. He then makes a run for it and heads to the artifact room where he grabs his weapons and promises to get his revenge. Thor thinks that this is the perfect opportunity to bond and tells Vision to accompany him. They chase after Ulik and find him wreaking havoc. Thor attacks first and tells Vision to attack when he gives the signal. When Ulik pins him down, Thor signals Vision to attack. Sure enough, Vision attacks Ulik and manages to take him down. Thor begins to celebrate their victory and asks Vision if he feels a bond between them, but Vision claims that he only feels one thing and flies towards the destroyer armor. When he touches the armor, electricity begins to flow through him, and his eyes turn red. Thor then hears Ultron's voice telling him that he has finally found something worthwhile to inhabit. Thor tries to fight him, but as expected, his power isn't shit compared to Vision's superior power and strength. When Vision grabs Thor's heart by reaching inside his chest, Thor reminds his newfound friend that he has to fight against the Hold. Ultron begins to laugh at Thor's attempt, but to their surprise, Vision manages to regain control. When Thor prepares to attack Vision again, he assures Thor that he has regained control, but realizes that Ultron must have taken over another tech. He begins to scan the room and finds that all of the artifacts have been made out of superior technology, which means that Ultron will be able to take over them. Soon after, they notice Ultron taking over an artifact called the Warlock's Eye. As he begins shooting at the two of them, Thor tells Vision that he needs to sneak behind the Warlock's Eye undetected, and while he shoots at Thor, Vision will disable it. Thor then runs in front of the artifact, and as he comes into the line of fire, Vision flies undetected and manages to disable the tech. The two of them then notice Ultron taking over artifacts and moving towards the destroyer armor. To their shock, Ultron takes over the destroyer armor and launches an attack on them. Back at the Avengers Tower, a bored Hulk messes with Iron Man's equipment and accidentally triggers an alarm like a dumbass. When all of the Avengers arrive in the control room, they find that the only threat is Hulk. Iron Man asks Friday where Thor is, and she responds by saying that he took Vision to Asgard. Hulk claims that he's going to join them as well, and tries to summon a portal for himself. When this doesn't work out, he begs Friday to summon a portal with him, but before she can respond, a portal opens up. Friday warns him that she did not open it, but Hulk is already running towards it. This is when he notices Ultron stepping out of the portal wearing the destroyer armor with both Vision and Thor unconscious in his hands. He dumps their bodies beside him and tells Hulk that it is now his turn to be taken down. Hulk attacks first and uses all of his strength to punch Ultron, but doesn't do much of shit. Instead, he gets thrown back. Knowing that he is overpowered, Hulk hits the alarm again. This time, when the Avengers come running into the control room, they realize that the threat is real. Ultron begins attacking them and even overrides Friday's control. While the Avengers try to recover from the attacks, Thor reminds them that the destroyer armor is impenetrable and that their attacks are not doing much. Ultron then holds Vision up in front of them and tells Iron Man that the only thing missing from the destroyer armor is the teleportation technology. He asks the Avengers if they will be willing to give it up in exchange for Vision's life. Iron Man agrees, but tells Ultron that the teleportation tech is in Stark Labs. He claims that Ultron needs to let Vision go so that they can hand the device over to him. However, Ultron scans the Avengers systems and locates the device on his own. He then jumps out of the window and lands in the street below them. He tells the Avengers that their friendships are making them weak because they are willing to exchange something valuable for a synthetic life. Before he can go any further, Thor stops him and hits him with his lightning. This does little to stop Ultron, who then knocks Thor back. Hulk steps in front of his friends and begins to punch Ultron, but as expected, it makes no difference. Vision decides to step in and take over the destroyer armor. He flies high into the sky, where he assures Ultron that he will not be able to override his control. Ultron tries to mock him for siding with flawed beings, but Vision claims that this is the exact reason why his friends deserve to live, and he does not. He then lets them plunge into the sea, where Vision leaves Ultron's body at the bottom of the ocean. Ultron once again tries to save himself by telling him that he will not be able to swim up to the top without the destroyer armor, but Vision is willing to sacrifice himself to save his friends. As he swims to the top, Thor helps pull him out of the ocean. Once they are out, Iron Man runs another scan on Vision and asks him if he is sure that Ultron will not be able to return. Vision assures them that there is no tech nearby, and Ultron is forever stuck at the bottom of the ocean. Unbeknownst to them, Ultron leaves the destroyer armor and takes over the optic wires while the Avengers celebrate yet another victory, unaware of the dangers yet to come. Thanks for watching. Check out these other videos, and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.